All right, so this is actually a very interesting title. The number one truth successful escorts know that most women don't. So let's see what she has to say because I believe this is like a truth about men that most wives and girlfriends don't know about men. I don't want this to be a don't trust men podcast. Okay, like, what the fuck? That's not the point. The point is to arm you with the reality necessary to make judgments. When you are completely divorced from reality and think that these things are not possible, your decision making gets completely fucked. All right. So let's watch this video. And if you guys want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfulattraction.org, like the video and subscribe. Because if not, my channel is gonna die, man. I'm telling you, man. Let's start with the video.
A lot of women, especially the ones who got married when they were young, they're in their early 20s, and they kind of still carry this unspoken belief that I'm still the hot girl. And even though they're now in their 40s and their 50s, and they're still attractive, they assume that their appeal out in the broader market has not changed. And they think of themselves as that head turner, as the one with all the options. They're mistaking being flirted with for being chosen. Just because a man wants to sleep with them doesn't mean that he wants to commit to them. And that's a massive blind spot for a lot of married women. And it leads to complacency. It leads to entitlement. And it leads to a lot of good men feeling ignored and neglected and taken for granted.
Ooh, let's go. Say it. Yo, this lady is, she looks like I mean, you could tell that during her days, she was a baddie. I should put baddie escort, baddie escort. She's
so
a baddie.
Glad that you're here. So if you're new to my channel, I'm a former madam and I'm a retired escort. And now I coach good men who are tired of being her partner, but never her passion. And today I'm going to talk about the number one thing that successful escorts know that most wives don't. And I'm being specific here in using the word successful in front of escort because not all escorts are successful, just like not all wives are good wives. Because I'm talking about the real pros, the women who made a career out of understanding men and sex, and in some cases, even emotional connection. And
I mean, the successful escorts are psychologists. I would love to interview her, actually. Father Alex, don't fucking try. We don't want. Hey, what the fuck? I want to interview her. You see, now I look suspicious, okay?
what these women know, what they live and breathe in their work, is that their actions and their inactions have consequences. And when you're a sex worker, you know that if you're disrespectful to a client, if you're cold, if you're shut down, if you're unprepared for his visit, he might give you one more shot, maybe two if he's really into you, but after that, he's gone because he knows he has options. Every escort understands this on a visceral level because it's just the nature of the business. The relationship between an escort and a client is literal. It's based on mutual clarity. It's not fuzzy or emotional in the same way that a marriage can become. It's defined. He pays the lady, she gives him her time, her attention, and access to her body. And I want to be clear. The purpose of this video is not to discuss the legality or morality of sex work. We're
going to speed her
or whether
up.
You should be seeing escorts or not. It's just about something that most women and frankly most men don't.
She looks like Hella Halabib, right? Holy shit! Wait, no wonder. Yeah, she looks like hell. Whoa, dude, she does a Habib. One of those two. Hala Habib. That's her name, right? I don't know. Like some other girl came up.
Understand,
Bella.
And that is that human behavior doesn't run on feelings alone. It runs on consequences. And in sex work, you learn that really early because it's common sense. You're not the only escort in town. And even though I thought well of myself back when I was working and the service that I was providing, I was very aware that there were literally thousands of other women who were younger and hotter and less expensive to see than I was.
So that's the important thing. It's understanding that reality. You might say, but that depresses me. That there's more escort. That depresses me. It's like, no, like you just have to understand that And whenever you come up with a strategy, keep that in mind. Don't let the uncomfortableness of that reality push it away and act like it doesn't exist. I promise you, when you grind yourself in reality, all of your plans, as much as it hurts to implement that reality, all of your plans work out. Just do.
And the women who thrive in sex work are the same ones who understand this. You have to show up as your best, not because you're afraid to lose a client, but because you respect him and you respect yourself, and because you understand the reality that you are replaceable. So now let's take this whole concept that actions have consequences and let's drop it into the context of marriage. There are a lot of women, especially the ones who got married when they were young, they're in their early 20s, and they kind of still carry this unspoken belief that I'm still the hot girl. And even though they're now in their 40s and their 50s, and they're still attractive, they assume.
Oh yeah, she got the tattoos.
Even though they're
there
now
it
in their
is.
40s and their 50s.
It's crazy how the tattoos change the way I see her. Wow, that's crazy. I swear to you, look, this lady, I'm not gonna judge her, but I'm just saying, like, she looked like meditation and like no. And now when I saw that, just her heavy metal music. Whoa. Right? It's crazy how tattoos changes your perception. Like I'm just pointing it out how it changes your perception, because I also look at her books and I'm trying to assess who she is.
And they're still attractive. They assume that their appeal out in the broader market has not changed. And they think of themselves as that head turner, as the one with all the options. And look, I want to be clear here. I'm not here talking shit about aging women. I'm 60. Okay, I know what this is like.
What? 60? What? Get the fuck out of here. Oh, hell no. Oh, what? Dude, I'm shocked. She's white. Sorry, white people. Hey, white people. You know I love you guys. But this is not how whitey works. What the fuck? 60? Yo, that's crazy. Okay. Yo, yo, you guys are evolving. White people, they're evolving. They're evolving.
To age and to be out in the world and the way that men look at me differently. Do I still get attention? Sometimes I do, but nothing like I did when I was in my 30s and my 40s. A lot of women don't realize how much their dating pool.
Yeah, you could tell that she aged really
shrinks
good.
With age. They don't think about it that way. They don't think about competition. They don't think about the fact that for most middle-aged women, the dating pool has gotten a whole lot smaller and a whole lot more competitive once you're out of the marriage bubble. But because they still get attention, maybe from their trainer at the gym or their tennis coach or the bag boy at Whole Foods, or their friends' husbands are flirty with them. They think, oh, I've still got it. I'm still hot. My man's not going anywhere. But what they're confusing is sexual attention with relationship value. They're mistaking being flirted with for being chosen, with desire for devotion. And it's a dangerous illusion that a lot of women are under. Just because a man wants to sleep with them doesn't mean that he wants to commit to them. And that's a massive blind spot for a lot of married women.
Well, it's kind of similar to guys. Just because a girl gives you her number doesn't mean she's going to text you. Just because she agrees on a date doesn't mean she's actually going to go. Like, we all just... right? I think that's natural. I don't even think that. I think that's just any person's natural assumption that if you pay attention to me, most likely you want a relationship with me. But what women don't understand is that there's different forms of attention. And the ones that are more obvious usually are not the ones that you want, especially when you don't know the person.
And it leads to complacency. It leads to entitlement. And it leads to a lot of good men feeling ignored and neglected and taken for granted. And here's why this happens. It's because our brains are wired for consequences. This isn't just a cultural thing. It's not just a female thing. It's a human thing. People change when there's a reason to change. If there's no reason, then there's no change. And that's just the basis of how we are taught. When we're young, when we're being raised, we learn how to behave by our good behavior being rewarded and our undesirable behavior being punished. This is how our habits form, good or bad. It's also how all adults, men and women, subconsciously gauge what's okay in a relationship. So when a woman gets in a bad mood and withhold sex or intimacy for months and years and nothing happens, when there are no clear boundaries, no shifts, no standards being upheld, she unconsciously assumes that, oh, he must be okay with this. She doesn't feel the consequences of her actions, so why would she change? And that's why some women aren't paying attention. It's not always malicious. Sometimes it's just a simple behavioral reinforcement. Like, you've taught her through your inaction, your silence, your enduring this nonsense, that she can just keep giving you less and still keep you. And this is where good men, especially nice guys, get stuck. Nice guys, you know I love you. You're my people. I coach you every week.
Those were her clients.
You're part of the reason your wife thinks that she can neglect you without consequence.
Yeah.
Not because you're weak, not because you're bad, but because you've tried so
hard
to
divorce.
be good, to be dependable, to hold the line, to do the right thing, that you've stayed in a situation that stopped serving you a long time ago. And you've been showing up with no affection, no intimacy, no sex, no passion in your life. You're still paying the bills, doing the chores, being the good husband. And what she's learned from that is that she can keep giving you less and you'll stay. Now, most women don't stop being loving because they're evil or because they're mean. They stop because, well, they can. It's really common in long-term relationships for people to become a little lazy. You stop taking care of yourself, you become a little less attractive, she stops taking care of herself, she becomes a little less attractive to you, and just the dynamic of the two of you together can create this low sex, no sex situation.
Yeah.
But the thing is that women, so I've talked about this. I have a playlist of videos on female sex drive. Male and female sex drive are very different.
Yeah.
A woman can go a long time without having sex. And it's not that she doesn't have a desire.
They're like sexual camels, man.
Or a drive. It's just that it's not the same as yours. Women very rarely will go around going, ooh, yeah, I gotta get it. Where that's a drive for y'all. That's how you feel. That's how you move in the world. That isn't true for us. So when we're in a situation, not where y'all have grown apart, but you haven't been coming together for a lot of different reasons, right? Life happens, job changes, the birth of children, the death of a family member, the illness. There's all kinds of reasons why your sex life can be interrupted. If you once had a good sex life, you can have a good sex life again. But just because of the way female sex drive is, more than likely, you're going to be the one that has to lead the way back to having regular sex. And to some men, that is amazing news because you're like, oh, okay, great. Because sometimes you just don't know how it works and you think, oh, we're not having sex because my wife hates me. No, it's not that. It's because I would say both of y'all have gotten lazy. She's not doing her part, you're not doing your part, right? And y'all can come together and make something really beautiful happen again, if you once had that. But back to women, they stop seeing you as a sexy ass man and you're more like a roommate. And they start thinking, oh, well, we'll just replace this erotic energy with logistics, like, oh, social life, spending time with the family, the kids, the jobs, the yard, the house, all these kinds of things. And it's just a natural thing that happens in a relationship. Now, it doesn't have to, but it often does, especially if you have stepped back and you're letting her be in charge of what's going on. Because a woman is not, most likely, most of the time, normal, average marital situation, a woman is not going to be the one to lead you back to sex. There are exceptions, of course, but just saying. So if you have let her lead, that's what she's leading with, right? Logistics. Like I said, social stuff, charity, church, family, kids. All that stuff is important, but it's just a part of your relationship. What makes it a marriage rather than a friendship is the sexual component. You're still there. You haven't left. You haven't demanded that anything change. So to her, it's just not that serious. One of the consequences that you're facing is no sex, low sex. That's the consequence of not showing her consequences, right? She thinks that your frustration is just background noise, not an alarm. So she's not paying attention because you've taught her that she doesn't need to. And if you want her to wake up, you have to be the one who rings the alarm. She doesn't feel the consequences of her withdrawal. But men who are in their masculine energy?
Yeah, totally. A lot of guys are afraid to put a woman in her place. You gotta understand, it's almost like they're what do you call that? Compromise. They're almost blackmail. Like when divorce is a factor and he knows this woman's crazy, a lot of these guys get very complacent. A lot of these guys lose their masculinity because they can't walk away anymore. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's complicated. That's really complicated. But it is true. If you don't put a woman in her place, she's gonna lose respect for you. That's just exactly what's gonna happen. She's gonna lose respect for you, and you're gonna hate her, and she's gonna hate you more.
They don't put up with this. They don't wait for months and months and months for a woman to come around. They lead. And if a woman refuses to follow, they move on. And that's the exact behavior that women find attractive. And the irony of that is painful. But women are biologically and emotionally wired to respond to strength, to direction, to decisiveness, and to presence. And when that disappears, as it does when we were talking about earlier, for all kinds of reasons, it's a dynamic that y'all created together. But men, if you stop leading, women stop respecting, and the desire dries up. But in this absence of sex and connection or even basic warmth, y'all will still stick around hoping that she'll come back to life. And that right there starts the emotional death spiral, because she won't come back to life unless she feels the stakes. But here's where it gets even more twisted. Many men who end up seeing escorts are men who never thought that they would. Y'all are religious, you're loyal, you're hardworking, you love your wives and your families. You've been married for decades. You're a good man, but you're being asked to live in a home where you're untouched, where your desire is invisible, where the one person who's supposed to see you doesn't even look at you.
Well, a lot of the times it happens because the man is such a bitch. But sometimes it happens because the woman picks a man who's a bitch. She don't want to pick a man who could stand up to her. That's why the masculine woman is always going to attract sexless relationships that she's going to need to cheat on him to feel not the dick, but that's the issue. Is that they're gravitating towards the very men that are not going to satisfy them in the bedroom. Why? Because their energy attracts men who just are more submissive. How could you be submissive to a man like that? You'd be like, you're the man. You're the one that's supposed to lead. But it's because you attract your energy all the time. If you're Terminators, that's going to be the ad of this video, the feminine woman. But if you're a Terminator, of course you're going to attract bitches. Of course. How you guys like my background? It's nice. Looks like an altar, doesn't it? Yeah, that shit looks like an altar, man. Like my grandma's altar. That scared me. That's crazy, man.
And eventually, something inside of you cracks. You're not a monster. You're human. And you're reaching for what we all need: connection, warmth, intimacy, touch. That's why when I was escorting, I'd often hear the same thing from men over and over again. You make me feel wanted. You look at me like I'm a man. You touch me like you mean it. And they would be so relaxed and so relieved and in their masculine energy. And many hadn't felt that.
Yeah, because they feel she's making them feel like a man. And when you're with a guy for so long and you don't respect men, you don't respect them, bow to us. No, I'm kidding. Don't bow to her. That's toxic. When you don't respect men, just like a man who doesn't respect women, you're going to rebel against them. It's just that simple.
In years. And I wasn't doing anything extraordinary. I was showing up as my best.
Nah, you got some special skills, man. You just, sometimes you don't know. Sometimes when you're good at something, you don't know how good you are. You know?
I was prepared. I was well rested, well fed. I was emotionally clear. I showed up to every appointment with my biggest and brightest smile.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, look, man, she's a beautiful lady. Okay? She got beautiful hair. Got the heavies. Long face. She looks like Bella Hadid. Like legit. Father Alex, she's retired. Nah, man.
With openness, with warmth. Not because I was afraid if I didn't do all this crazy shit, I'd lose them as a client, but it was because I respected them. I respected their time.
I'm sorry, you're not losing any clients, boo-boo. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about losing clients. Like, this lady is the hottest 60-year-old I've ever seen in my life. Ever. And I don't like MILFs, people. I don't like MILFs. Never been my thing. Never, ever. But this lady is the most beautiful MILF I've ever seen. I'm going to call her MILF Escort.
Appreciated their money. their presence. I knew what a good man was worth. And
Oh, you're a
wives should
big
know this
daddy.
too. Because just like in sex work, in marriage, it's easier to maintain a good thing than to start over. Dating is exhausting. Meeting somebody new, vetting them, building trust, creating a bond. It takes time. It takes energy, vulnerability. And if you're a man, dating can be
Just
tough. Creating
change.
a bond. It takes time. It takes energy, vulnerability. And if you're a man, dating can become very expensive.
Expensive.
And just like I wasn't compatible with every client, you're not going to be compatible with every woman or man that you meet.
No, boo boo. They were not compatible with you. What are you talking about? You
When
weren't.
you get
like...
something good, something that flows, you protect it, you value it, because good relationships are rare. So you don't treat something rare like it's disposable. So men, if you've been showing up day after day, still hoping, still trying, I want you to hear this. You're not weak, you're not crazy, but you are teaching her something about what she can get away with. And if nothing changes and you keep tolerating this emotional neglect and sexlessness and indifference, then why should she change? You've shown her she doesn't need to. But here's what I want for you. I want you to stop waiting for her to wake up.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree, man. Let me know what you guys think, and if you're too much of a Terminator, watch the ad that we're going to talk about. Do you give off Terminator vibes because you're so masculine, or do you give off nice girl, creepy, and needy vibes because you're just too feminine? The problem is that both sides suffer greatly in their business life, relationships life, and friendships with family and friends. And if you don't know how to fix that, you will repeat the same pattern your whole life and never escape. Well, guess what? I have a course for you, and it's called The Feminine Woman. It's pretty much a course on how to increase your self-esteem through practical means, not through giving you guys affirmation and wishing that you stop being Terminators or you stop being needy and creepy goldfish. No, I'll give you practical things that by you doing this, if you're too masculine, I swear people will say there's something in you. You look more relaxed. You're just more comforting. You become more emotionally open because I teach you guys those strategies. It's a 5-week course. If you're too masculine, you are successful in life, you are successful in business, but you struggle with connecting. And so that course will give you practical things that if you're a Terminator, you'll come out human, people. Like you'll just give off a more relaxed vibe. It's what I did in my life to heal me from my toxic masculinity. It's a 5-week course, and in that I teach you guys how to let go of the past. I teach you guys how to use your feminine energy to influence without being too sexual, which might sabotage you. I'll teach you guys how to use the masculine to be assertive without scaring people off because sometimes it could be too much. It's a course that balances those things out, okay? So if you go Bronx mode, if you're too Beverly Hills mode, I'll teach you guys how to go Bronx mode, or better yet, south side of Chicago type of shit. Well, now you're just a serial killer right there, right? And with this course has a 30-day money back guarantee, and if you purchase it, you guys also get access to the Zoom meditation group where we both meditate, or we all meditate on a weekly basis, and you guys get access to the WhatsApp group. And it's really a good course. If you guys don't like it, just ask for your money back. I mean, you guys can see the reviews right here. A lot of people like those reviews. And you'll see the results. And if you don't see the results, then I'll just give you your money back. I'm not gonna scam you guys if it doesn't work, but I know it's gonna work. So you do that now. Don't end up like Frida Kahlo. All right? Don't do that shit. Y'all just think you guys can break my rules and tell people you watch my channel. You can't do that. Okay? So purchase that right now. It's a lifetime. You get lifetime access to that course, and I'll see you guys inside. Take care. Let's continue with the video.